The spot price of silver has dropped quite a bit this week. In fact, we are seeing it right now trading under $28 an ounce. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was over 31. That is a pretty large drop in a short amount of time, and many people in my comment section say not only did they see it coming, but they expect it to continue to go down. Now, you know me, I don't predict the silver price on this channel, but I do love to hear what other people have to say, and today we're actually going to get the reaction of these silver price moves with a coin shop owner. We're going to be talking with Keith from the Coin Crew, and we're going to be asking him how it's affecting his coin shop and what his customers are saying as well. Also, is it going to continue to go down? Well, let's see if we can talk to him about that a little bit. But do me a favor, don't forget to like and subscribe and help us continue to grow. We are at almost 200,000 subscribers. We are here with Keith from Coin Crew. He owns a coin shop in Muskegon, Michigan. Keith, silver price dropped quite a bit this week. Many people in my comments said they saw this coming and that it might even go lower. Obviously, we don't try and predict silver price on this channel, but what I do like to hear is how you, as a coin shop owner, are reacting as well as your customers. Can you give us a little bit of insight today?
Well, I've been kind of thinking it's going to pull back a little bit around 28, but again, I don't predict the price, so I didn't know for sure. But I've been expecting to ease back. As far as the customers coming in, for some strange reason, there is more selling going on. I am buying more silver now than I was when it was $2, $3 higher.
So this week after the spot price drop, people are bringing it in. Could it be because they expect it to go down farther, or they're worried it's going to go down farther?
I'm thinking some of them are, kind of saying, oh, it's going to go down further. Let's get rid of it before it falls, which in my opinion is a very bad choice. You should always buy when people are fearful. So when it's going down and people are dumping it, you should be buying. It just makes smart sense.
Now, obviously, that's the opinion of a coin dealer who has a vested interest in people buying your silver, though, right?
No, that would be, I guess you could say, the interest of anybody trying to make a little bit of profit on it. Because if everybody is selling, it's going to continue to go down. But what happens when it flips? If you've been buying on the way down, it's going to go back up eventually. It just makes sense to, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Copy Warren Buffett, so to speak. He has a saying, buy when everybody else is fearful and sell when everybody else is greedy. So therefore, if you buy on the way down, you're playing exactly into that schematic.
So are you saying that people should have been selling when it was 30, 31, and now that it's reverting that back down to,
Yeah, I would have been selling more at 30, 31 than I would now. I mean, just simply because of the dollar value, but it was on an uptrend. And if you want to make a little bit extra, it makes more sense to sell on an uptrend than a downtrend.
Okay, that makes sense. So let me ask you this. We don't predict the price of silver, and I know you don't as well. That being said, I've had a lot of people commenting saying it's going to keep going. It's going to hit 25, 26 before it stops dropping. Is there any validity to that at all? And I'm not telling you to say what it will do, but is that something that can happen?
If the customers, the retail public, continue to sell, I think there is that possibility. But personally, I don't know if it'll go down that far. I mean, there's too many, I guess you could say, levels, stop points between here and $25 where people are going to start buying.
Okay. So I'm going to grill you a little bit here because it's my understanding that, this has been something you've said before as well, that physical silver bullion. So for example, people coming into your shop and buying and selling and other local coin shops, it doesn't really affect the COMEX very much, if at all. That's actually where the premium really comes into play. So when you said that, if a lot of people continue to sell, it could drop more, how does that correlate?
Well, you are correct in stating that the paper market is separate from the physical market. But when people start selling the physical market, some of those people that have physical also have invested interest into the paper market. And if they're selling the physical, they're going to start selling the paper as well. And that will affect it.
All right, so now you're talking about big time investors, but that's...
No, it doesn't take a big time investor. It just someone who is, let's say you have stocks in the stock market. There are ETFs that you can purchase out there in the stock market area that just allow you to get a fraction of that contract, which is 5,000 ounces of silver. And those guys might decide to dump their fraction of a share.
Okay, that makes sense. So if a lot of people are dumping, on the COMEX, then that's that's where the spot price is going to be affected.
Well, I guess you could say it's like everything else. If you sit there and have a bunch of people that have small bits, it will have more of an impact than one person that has, 10 contracts.
Yeah, I get it. So looking at premium, so we've been, looking at rock bottom premiums. That's literally part of the title of a video I put out the other day. And I was looking at a wholesaler. You know which wholesaler it is, but it's privileged information. So I don't, share their name here on the channel, but I think a lot of people realize it. But, they're selling 90% at melt. They're selling 1 ounce rounds at melt price. I mean, these are premiums that I didn't see before the silver squeeze and before COVID. There was always at least a little bit of a premium on it, even coming from the wholesaler. So what is causing those premiums to drop? Is it really because so many people are selling? And then if so, why are people selling so much? Because these premiums went down to zero before this recent silver price drop.
Well, to start off, the wholesaler you're referring to, they actually raised their premium up to 10 cents, spot plus 10 cents. So there is a little bit of, I guess you could say, interest in the silver. However, I noticed, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, they dropped that premium to zero, and that was before silver started going down. If you use the wholesalers, how they sell to us, we can kind of get a little bit of an inkling of what's going to happen. And when they dropped to zero, a premium, I'm like, something's going to happen. So for a couple of weeks, I didn't order anything.
Yeah. So, I was at the coin show, you were there with me, and, we walked around the coin show floor together and saw, not just generic silver rounds for 50 cents, but you even saw some 10 ounce and kilo bars that a coin dealer was selling at melt, at spot price, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I even seen one guy had some Solverine silver for like buck and a half over.
Some what silver?
Some silver maples.
Oh, okay. I thought you said
Solverine.
Okay, I thought you said submarine silver.
Yeah, submarine, man. We're going to get some submarine. No, it was Solverine.
Okay.
I apologize for mispronouncing.
That's okay. So silver maples for just $1.50 over.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's seeing the premiums being that low, and this is at retail. So coin shop, that you go to a coin show and you're not going to get wholesale prices, but they are competing against other people on the floor, so they might drop their prices a little bit just to be able to sell it, right?
Yes, that is correct. And if you'll notice, I don't know if you watched it, I put a video up yesterday of purchases I made at that coin show. And the only bullion I made were 2 certified 10th ounce gold eagles. I was buying collectibles over bullion, even myself.
Yeah, so, that show was different for me as well. I'm going to be honest. I went to that show. If you ever watch my videos, every time I go into a coin show, I have a subsequent, here's what I bought at the coin show video. Notice I didn't do that. I actually did take money with me. I ended up not buying anything. And I don't know if I also felt that silver was going to pull back. I wasn't thinking that, but maybe like subconsciously, I'm like, you know what? It feels like silver's going to pull back. Maybe I'll just wait. But I didn't buy anything at that show. That's the first coin show I've went to in years where I didn't spend a dime. I just kind of hung out with you and Mike and, walked around and got an idea what was going on, but I didn't purchase anything.
I normally go to a coin show expecting to buy a little bit of bullion, a little bit of collectibles, but I just didn't feel it. I wasn't, I guess you could say, feeling the fact that whether silver was going to go down, whether it was going up, I just didn't want to buy it. Looking at the prices people were selling it for on a retail level, and I'm thinking, is it even going to hold? I don't know.
Do you think that, that feeling that you got, which is also kind of the feeling that I got, could that be more influenced by not the spot price itself, but the premium? So when you're looking at silver and they're trying to sell it for spot or 50 cents over spot for 1 ounce rounds, it really doesn't give you a sense that that's something you want to buy, because it seems like there's no excitement there. And maybe the excitement even kind of dies, off for you as well, even though you're enthusiastic about silver like we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love silver. Don't get me wrong. That reminds me of a story about, I don't know, about 20, 22 years ago. A dealer offered me silver at 25% under spot. I mean, it was like 4.25, and he offered me like $3.50 an ounce. He had 1,000 1-ounce silver bars. You'll never guess what I did. I only bought 100 of those ounces. I said, I don't want to buy this. Nobody's buying it. You are right. If people lose interest in it, it does affect the price of silver. That's what happened then. And I think that's what's happening now. I don't think it'll get that bad though.
Well, I'm not talking about affecting the price of silver, but the sentiment. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
regardless of the price of silver, even when the premiums were up and I went to a coin show, I was still looking for something and I still bought some stuff. I was looking for deals, but I still bought some stuff. And, at this show, like I said, there were deals. I mean, there was silver at spot. If you bought 10 ounce or kilo bars, there was rounds for 50 cents over. Like you said, there were the maples for $1.50. Those are great deals, and yet I didn't buy. And I'm just wondering if those deals being so prevalent, maybe that is what kept me from buying them, rather because it just looked like no one else was buying. So it made me feel like, I didn't want to buy either.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, that story. It was such a great deal, and I passed on 900 of the 1,000 ounces. I'm getting the same feeling now where the energy, the sentiment of buying silver, it's just not there. When people are selling it at spot, it makes you wonder, is the price going to hold? Even if it has all the catalyst to go up, you still got to question yourself.
Well, I'll tell you this: I would never turn away 1,000 ounces of silver for $3,500. I'm just
Well, I don't blame you there. But I had back in 2002, three, I had different things going on. I wasn't just a coin guy. I was running another business, and it's like I didn't want to wrap up, I hate to say it, only $3,000 or $4,000 in a bunch of silver that I couldn't sell because I wasn't as active in the coin industry because at the time I did not have a physical store. So therefore, I would have just been buying it and waiting. Now, had I bought it, honestly, it went down to 250 afterwards. That's when I should have come back and bought it.
yeah, you should have bought a man.
Yeah, I know, right? I should have backed up the semi or something. But yeah, it's sentiment has a big influence on price, on demand. If the sentiment's not there, if people don't demand the silver, therefore the price does go down. If we continue on this path where people have lost interest in silver, you had asked me earlier if I think it could go down to 25. If this path continues and the sentiment stays at the same level it is now, there is quite a possibility that that will happen.
All right, Keith. Well, I think that's enough for us today, and I really hope that the viewers, got a little bit of insight, at least from the, likings of a coin shop owner like yourself. Guys, Keith has his own YouTube channel, Coin Crew. It's here on YouTube. I'll put a link for it in the description below. Make sure you go give him a like and a follow. And if you're in Muskegon, Michigan, anytime in the near future, make sure you stop in and check out his shop. Keith, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.